Hello, and welcome to the BMC Quick Course series. My name is Frank Rhodes, and I'm the Db2 Administrative Product Solution Architect based out of Austin, Texas. Today, I'm going to be showing you some of the new functionality added to Command Center in support of the SQL Assurance product. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to need to do is log into Command Center using our TSO ID and password. We are starting out in the Db2 Catalog Navigator perspective, but we need to actually change over to the Product Tools perspective. This can be done by clicking the Product Tools link there near the top middle of the page. Now I select the plus sign to add a new view. I select to add an SQL Assurance view. When I define my view, I select the time frame that I want to have displayed and the Db2 subsystems that I'm interested in. I'm only going to select two subsystems for this view. From this dashboard, you can see all of the violations that have been reported over the last 7 days. To get more details about one of the subsystems, you can simply click on the graph for that subsystem or click on one of the data rows for that subsystem. Now we can see each of the violations that have been recorded on DEJM for the past 7 days. By moving your mouse over the different colors on the pie chart, you can display the different violation messages that were generated. I move the mouse over another color and it displays a different violation. If you would like to remove all of the message IDs for a certain type of violation, simply deselect the message ID checkbox next to the pie chart. If you double-click a violation row, you can get more details on that violation. If you want to see more details of the violation, you can scroll down. If you want to see the full SQL text that was analyzed, select the SQL tab at the top of the pop-up. Here is the full SQL text. I want to sort the list of violations, so I click the column header for the last logged. Now I have the violations being displayed that were generated when I ran the Jenkins pipeline in the previous course. I want to ignore this violation, so I right-click my mouse over the row and then I select Ignore Violation. I see the rule name that generated the violation as well as the specific collection ID, package name, and version of the package. If I scroll down, I can get access to the SQL text options. I'll go ahead and click OK, and now SQL Assurance will downgrade this specific violation to a warning. Since we just created an ignore rule, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the ignore rules by clicking the Manage Violations to Ignore Rules link. Here's a list of all of the ignore rules defined on the subsystem DEJM for SQL Assurance. By double-clicking a row, I can get more details about the violation to ignore rule. I want to make some changes to this rule, so I bring up the command list by clicking the right mouse button over the rule. I then select Edit Rule. I'd created an ignore rule for this specific package under this specific collection ID, but I know that this same package is used in multiple collection IDs on this subsystem. Instead of defining a rule for every collection ID that includes this package, I simply wildcard the collection ID. Now this rule will downgrade the violation for the SQL statement when it's found in package SCCQCAT no matter what the collection ID the package might reside in. By wildcarding the collection ID, I have made sure that this particular violation will not flag as an error on DEJM. But once the application code is deployed to the next subsystem, it would flag as a violation there. To prevent this, I want to bring up the command list again by using the right mouse button and then selecting Deploy Rules. I tell the dialog what system I want to deploy this rule to. On the Rule List tab, you can see if the rule will be added or updated in the action column on the target subsystem. This gives you the opportunity to not deploy a rule if you find that it already exists on the target subsystem. In this case, I could just hit enter if I did not want to deploy. But assuming I was deploying multiple rules, I could simply deselect any rule I did not want to deploy and continue the deployment of the others. I click the Next button and the summary of my request is displayed. I can now click the Finish button. So the rule that I had created and modified on DEJM has now been deployed to DB2. This allows for the fast deployment of ignore rules from your development and test subsystems to pre-production and production if you know that the ignore rules will be needed on those platforms. I would like to thank you for watching this quick course video. For more information on any of the BMC mainframe products, please visit the URL shown here.